Hey friends, it's Vlad here. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I will share with you how you can set your goal in your 20s, your financial goal, and what goals are actually present there. At the beginning, I will share with you what are the most common and rational goals are present in this world. Afterwards, I will share with you a 6-step process on how you can actually set the goal and move towards it. As the next item, I will share with you a secret step that will help you to change your mindset and attitude towards money. And lastly, I'm going to share with you a detailed example of how to set a goal and move towards it. Setting a financial goal sometimes might be tricky and challenging because on one side you might end up in a situation when you set a dream instead of a goal. Dream of something that is not achievable, unfortunately, at the moment for you. Or on the other hand, there is a situation when you set a financial goal but didn't take any action, so the next day you woke up and forget about that. Or there might be the case when you actually don't know what goal to set. Honestly saying, I was in all three situations because at the beginning I didn't know what goal to set. Afterwards I set a dream instead of a goal because I dreamed of a luxurious car, understanding that it's not achievable for me, but I was just dreaming about that. And lastly, once I understood that I cannot afford such car, I set a lower budget for myself but haven't taken any action at all. As a result, I totally understand you if you end up in any of these situations. So first, let's start from the question, what goal can you actually set? In order to answer this question, a couple of years ago, I had to spend around 6 months of time researching this topic, reading a couple of books, watching different YouTube videos, and even I had to complete one online course called Personal Finances, just in order to answer this simple question. And now I have this answer for you. So the most important goal that you have to set for yourself is to create a budget for a rainy day. What it means that you need to have some amount of money that you would be able to live for without any income during some period of time. For example, 3 to 6 months of time during economical growth, or 9 to 12 months of time during crisis or war. I, for example, had to increase this budget recently, just 7 months ago, once Russia invaded Ukraine. So I had to move from 6 months of time living without job to 12 months of time, because I do understand it. It might be that in 2 weeks of time I might lose a job and I then have somehow to leave. And since there is a war now, number of open opportunities for myself might be as low as 0. Following this financial goal, the next one is to get rid of the debt that doesn't provide you any value. For example, you need to pay off a debt for your house or for your car. You should do that as the next item. If you have a debt for some businesses or some things for investments, and you know that this investment would bring you some money back in future, then you can keep this debt as long as the interest rate is lower than potential profit that you are going to have. And only as a next step you can save money for something that might bring you value in future. For example, for your hobby, for some passive income, for example, stock market or real estate, or active income. For example, you're planning to open a business and for that you need some amount of money. That's a great thing to save for money for. Or you're planning to save money for education, either for yourself or for your kids if you plan any. Or even health, because sometimes paying for some bills, for some medicines, for just visiting a dentist, ton of money. Then the good thing for you would be is to save some money in advance for such appointment. And the last item is vacation, because we anyway need to have some rest sometimes, at least once per year. I don't know, during winter, summer, autumn, spring, holidays, just have 1 or 2 weeks of time for yourself and have a rest. And planning some money in advance for that would be good for you, because then you wouldn't break your budget during that period of time. And now let's move on and see how to properly set a goal so that to make it work for you. So the very first step of this process is to come up with a list of all financial goals that you are planning to achieve and prioritize them from the highest to the lowest. Now the second step of this process is to take the highest one and set a deadline and budget that is needed for this goal. You can calculate it, or you just can have a look on this item and understand how much money you need for that. At the third step, you need to understand how much money you are ready to save on a monthly basis. As a fourth step, you need to understand how much money is needed on a monthly basis in order to achieve your goal, and compare it with the actual amount of money that you are ready to save. If you would see that, for example, it's not enough for you, then for that I have created a dedicated video where I shared how you can save more money by cutting your spendings and earning more. As a fifth step of this process, once you understand that you have a goal, you know the deadline, you know that you are ready to save some amount of money in order to achieve it, the fifth step would be to automate this process. So make on a monthly basis an automatic payment to a saving account. So as soon as money lands on your account, it will be taken to the savings. And something that you didn't expect, the sixth step of this process is, instead of spending money that are left after savings, spend 10% or even 1% of your budget on donations. It will help you to change your attitude towards money. You would understand that sometimes you need to give to someone your money in order to then receive more, or just understand that you can help someone by just giving money. You can give money for charity, you can give money to a friend of you who just needs some money in order to live his life or her life, or you have relatives that are in bad financial situation that giving them on monthly basis some money would be good for you. You would just become a better person. So to summarize, first, come up with a list of financial goals you're planning to achieve and prioritize it from top to the bottom. As a second step, choose one from the top, set a deadline for that goal and a budget that is needed in order to achieve this goal. At the third step, understand how much money you are ready to save for that goal. As a fourth step, compare it with the planned amount of money and actual your savings. If you see that your actual savings are not still enough for your financial goal, then think how you can cut your current spendings or how you can earn more, or both of them. As a fifth step, make this process automated. Make so that each month some amount of money would be stored through your saving account and you wouldn't touch that. And as a sixth step, donate some amount of money for charity for people who really need those money. You can save just 1% of your income. That would be more than enough at the beginning. Then you can move towards a goal of having 10% of your income, but it's like in future. If for now you cannot afford it, just save 1% of your income for donations. And now let's see how I actually did this process and how it looked for me. So here, the first step of this process is to come up with a list of financial goals I want to follow. For example, I want to study MBA, I want to, invest in my YouTube channel, I want to make renovation at the apartment that I recently bought. So, renovation at apartment. For example, I want as well to invest in stock market. And I would like to buy a car in future, buy car. And now I need to prioritize it somehow so that what I wanna really now and what can wait for the future. So, for example, for me, I see that renovation at the apartment that I recently bought. So I do have an apartment and currently I'm renting out another apartment. So I have an apartment where I can live, but there still needs renovation. But at the same time, I'm paying for some rent. It should be, for myself, I guess it should be top one priority, because then I would get rid of the renting and I would be able to just live at my own apartment. Next one, let me see, what do we have? We have stock market, YouTube channel, MBA and buy a car. I'm pretty sure that investing in YouTube channel is something that can pay off in 2 to 3 years of time. So I would put it as a second financial goal. Third one is MBA, investments or buying a car. So probably investment in stocks is something that could be the next one, because MBA on average costs $75,000, which is enormous amount of money. So let's put investments in stocks, then MBA, and lastly car, because car is something that only helps me to get from one location to another location with some comfort, and doesn't bring you any value, it doesn't bring you money, it just takes it out from you because you need to pay for servicing, you need to fuel that car, you need to filling up the fuel tank, you need to buy oil, motor oil, you need to sometimes just clean it. So a lot of effort would be put in this car, but the only thing that it provides me an ability to drive with comfort. So it's the lowest priority for me at the moment. Now, the second step is I need to understand what is the budget needed and how fast I need to accomplish this goal, how soon. So renovation is my top one, so let's start from there. I got a discussion with some professionals and they told me that this renovation would cost me around $50,000, which is not small amount of money, but that's the reality. I need to spend them so that I would be able to live at my own apartment. How fast, how soon that needs to be? It should be ASAP, because as soon as I would accomplish this goal, the sooner I would be able to get off paying the rent. Anyway, would be able to understand what is the actual deadline as soon as I would calculate how much money I'm ready to save on a monthly basis. So for now, I can keep it as ASAP. But if you know, for example, that something required to be done by some date, then you can put here, for example, 1 year of time if it's something that requires really 1 year for you. But I will put ASAP. I will see afterwards. Now, the third step of the process is finally to understand how much money I'm ready to save on a monthly basis. Currently, I'm able to save something like that, so $1,500 per month. Well, it might be not that huge amount of money, because if I'll calculate it will be several years of time waiting for renovation. So now I would need to do the following. I need to understand how I can cut my spendings, or how can I earn more. If you would watch the video that I mentioned before about cutting spendings, there I have shared that I was able to cut my spendings by $600 per month, $650 to be more precise. So let's sum them up. So 1,500 plus 650, it would be $2,150. It's a little bit better, right? So the next step for me, it would be to just understand what is the time bound for that. So $50,000 by 150, it would be, so it would be something like 23 months of time, which is 2 years, right? Okay, so at this point I need to understand whether this financial goal is still makes sense. I mean, I need to spend 2 years of time in order to collect some amount of money, $50,000. Then spend it during following 6 months of time on the renovation itself, because it wouldn't be done in 1 day. So I need to consider whether it's still relevant for me, because sometimes you might end up in a situation you see, oh no, that's not impossible, I would rather move to the next financial goal. It might be the case for you, but for me it's not the case, because I really want to do that. So I'm ready to spend 2 years. But what I want to do additionally, I would think, how can I earn more? Maybe I should start some side hustles in order to earn more money. The future will show how it will be, but for now, let's keep it as it is. So I do understand that I need to save, on average, $2,150 per month during 2 years of time. And in 2 years of time, I would be able to get $50,000. And now I just need to make an automated payment on monthly basis to save this amount of money in order to achieve my goal. And as I said before, the sixth step, I need to make donations, because again, since Russia invaded Ukraine, I need to support Ukrainian army, and I do that on a monthly basis. So I need to spend a decent amount of money on these donations, because otherwise, if Russia would win, I would lose everything. They will take everything from me. So only by winning in this war, I would be able to achieve all of my future goals. If you enjoyed watching this video, you can check out my previous one related to money saving tips, so how to cut your spendings and how to earn more money. And I much appreciate if you can support my channel by hitting the like button and subscribing to it. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.